Truck on.
Tom Cruise. Roll out. You're watching or listening to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. We the people, the People's Patriot Project.
Looking for a place to put your skill set, your thoughts, and ideas, or want to help continue the mission? You have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we are the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be a part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Here's the WeP3 Team bringing you today's best heroes hits in the boots on the ground organizations that are saving lives. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it.
Truck on.
Eichmann, your mic's
Okay, I've been muted that whole entire time.
Yep.
You guys enjoy watching my mouth move, but not hearing me?
We were communicating. Hey, welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Thank you, Andrew, for being here. I'm going to let you get in there and do your thing. Bye.
Up. All right, guys, welcome to the People's Patriot Project. We are here with you tonight to bring you our We Got Your 6 at 6 every Sunday night at 6 o'clock Central Time. We bring you a guest who is with an organization or has a story to tell or has something to share. And this week won't be a disappointment because we have got Mr. Scott Jones with American Warrior Garage. He will be here. I met Scott in Georgia last year at an event with Feeding Our Heroes. We're going to move this forward right after we do the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you could please stand, put your hand over your heart, and take off your hat and join us with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag,
of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so I was fighting. My cursor was on my document that has the intro on it, and I was just moving it out of the way of StreamYard so I could read it and look at you guys. And the mouse thingy wouldn't let go, and so it was swirling all over the page, and I was freaking out, which made me forget to put my mute button off.
Sometimes it'd be great. Sometimes it'd be great if there was a mute button for people, but not for you, Andrea. We love
it. Never. Never a mute button.
But that's the funny story is I put it on mute myself. So that's the really funny story. Hello, Scott. How are you doing?
Hey, good afternoon. I'm doing great. You guys doing all right?
Our tails are dragging. I'm going to say it. I don't know if anyone, my tail is dragging, but that's good. That's a good thing. We had an amazing weekend. We'll talk more about it here in a minute, but an amazing weekend up in Granite Falls, Minnesota, with the Ride to Remember event. There were so many shock and awe moments, so many just I'm speechless moments, and I wish we had the time to have the footage up for that event. I mean, they're just with it being 3 hours away from everyone that's on this screen in all different directions. There's just no time to get that all done. We got a couple listeners and viewers out there. Brian, Paul, good to see you, brother. So awesome. What an amazing supporter. He's always here. Tammy Schroeder, thank you, dear. She got to spend a lot of time at the Ride to Remember and got to lay homage to her late husband and lay a rose at the battle cross with a bell ding, and just it was amazing. She had a sign made up for the Ride to Remember, created signs for those who have fallen, and I'm glad she got to experience that. And maybe we got to have Tammy come on here and share her point of view on that. Maybe we'll do that.
Yes, because she got to go on the bus and follow along, and she got all that perspective while we were just, hanging out, waiting for them to get back.
Just taking naps and hanging out.
I don't know what you're talking about taking naps and hanging out, but
we do have one Facebook user out there. If you can let us know real quick, there is a link. And crazy part is I'm only working off 2 screens tonight instead of 4 screens, and so I don't know if I'll have the withitness to get in there and get that link up there so you can convert your messenger to the StreamYard platform. But I'll get there going here if I get someone else talking for a minute. Yeah.
You can't say get someone else talking and then say,
That's
like you're going to say more. Come on.
That is Beth with Ride to Remember. That's who that Facebook user is.
Beth.
Awesome.
Beth is awake. I bet you're not awake for too much longer, Beth. That's awesome.
I want to know why all you guys went home early last night while me and Andrew were still hanging out there. That's what I want.
Dan.
And Dan. Yes,
I'm still here. I'm like a ghost lately, but I'm here.
Dan, I'm getting used to it.
I was telling Mark earlier, I'm like, I don't know how you guys are going to do one tonight after all that work y'all been doing this weekend. So
I tell you what, Scott, you hit the nail on the head. There's work and there's work for a cause. And I think you're going to be able to give everyone listening on all the platforms a real insight into that. And I will tell you, this was a lot of work, and it was worth every sweat. Every bead of sweat and every achy joint. It's a reminder, and I tell you what, it was an honor, honestly.
When you're passionate about what you're doing, it's not like work. It's just just keep doing 100%. It until you do it, and just keep doing it.
100%.
You're right, Beth. I get it. You were there early, a little bit earlier than us, and so I'll give you that. Tammy was up at 2 a.m. driving to the airport with my wife, taking one of the artists, had to get back to Texas, and so a 2 a.m. drive from Granite Falls to the airport. It's what everyone loves to do, and I do want to thank Tammy and my wife Corey for picking that up. Andrew originally was slotted to do that, and it just helped us get that much more stuff done, because if Andrew we had to close down 2 Airbnbs, and I would have had to close both of them down if Andrew wasn't there. And it was just
and then you had the other airport run, and you would have had to wake up Scotty Hastings.
Yeah,
he sleeps.
If you guys don't know Scotty Hastings, this guy is the size of a linebacker. He's the nicest guy you'll ever run into, but he's got his square-toed boots. And he's a big dude, and I'm glad he's on our side. I'm just going to say that, because not one to trifle with if he were to ever get angry. I've never seen him angry, but
there weren't very many small guys there this weekend.
That poor stage was really pushing it. It was some big dudes up there.
So you got Scotty and Shannon right off the bat, and then JT has one kind of little guy in his band, though.
The bass player, yeah.
Yeah, yep. So I know, like you just described, Scotty, but can I tell you, I want to get this rolling, but I just want to tell you, big-hearted, super. I don't know what it is. He has a soul that tells you that he's a good person, and so I got to spend some time having breakfast. Well, it was one, but it was breakfast for him, and
That's breakfast for a rock and roll star.
oh, okay. Now, so Kathy's Place. Here's a big shout out. Kathy's Place in Sacred Heart, Minnesota. Good luck, because it's you got to make your map big to find Sacred Heart, but it's there, and it was an amazing, amazing breakfast.
What?
Weirdly, our server said to Scotty, "Are you from around here?" It's cute.
I'm humbled today for many reasons, but I'm humbled because we have Scott here.
Absolutely.
I tell you what, man,
oh yeah, we got a guest.
I'm just saying, we were chatting beforehand, and I was telling Scott, Mark Andrew and I are always preaching, hey, actions, not words. And I think people listening today are going to get the epitome of actions, not words. And if somebody wants to fight me about it, you can talk to Scotty Hastings, because he's now my bodyguard. So
100%. Yeah. So Scott, you run American Warrior Garage, and I don't know that many people, unfortunately, know what that is.
Well,
can you share with us?
Sure. American Warrior Garage got started in 2014, and the story we like to tell is, Vince, my partner, and I, we were up at the local department store, and the Camaro that's on our website and the Chevelle that's on our website were the two vehicles that him and I drove at the time. And, we had a young kid in a wheelchair comes up and he goes, "Man, those cars are cool. How could I I'd like to be able to ride in one of those." And it's like, well, why not? So at that time we founded, American Warrior Garage. And so, one of my downfalls, for the garage is I just, I don't toot my own horn sometimes. And so the very first vehicle that we did for a double amputee that was an 800 horsepower Chevelle. You'll see it on our website. We did that for a Marine, and it's just a passion that we had. So, and times rocked on. We almost closed down, and then 18, 19, we got featured on a TV show called Garage Rehab with Richard Rollins, where they come in and rehabbed our garage. Well, that sparked everything back up again. We had a full-blown shop where we were doing, front-end alignments, brake jobs, and, stuff for the locals. And then, 2021 happens. And, of course, 2021 was supposed to be our epic year. We had things worked out with a bunch of people as far as car builds. We were going to do a celebrity car build that was going to be in SEMA, and had all this stuff working for us. And we had this momentum going. And then all of a sudden, bam, that nasty COVID word, and it just kind of shut everything down. So, everybody knows we're volunteer based. We don't pay any salaries out to nobody. So all of our veterans that were working at the shop were older and had wives that had medical, history that, we just couldn't operate the way we were operating. So we've had to go back and revert back to doing restorations and doing pay it forward vehicles. We've never lost sight of pay it forward vehicles. They've always been on the back burner, and that's kind of, it's like our old shop truck. We were building a shop truck. We were doing a veteran build for one of the Brezel brothers, and those things were always getting put on the back burner because we were doing stuff for the public. We were doing all this other stuff. So we've basically gone back to our roots, and we're doing pay it forward vehicles for veterans. We're finishing up the Torino. Brad will be home in a couple of months. He's in not Mexico, but he's in Hawaii. He this vehicle that we're doing for him, he was a 5-time Afghanistan, did 5 tours. He's currently in Hawaii. He's going to be going to Louisiana in a couple of months, and we should have his car ready for him when he gets home. And then we did a S10 for a gentleman that was out of Florida and took it to Florida. He was out of the base here in Atlanta. And then, so we're just trying to get back to the roots of where we started at. We're just, if it was okay with me, I would just do nothing but pay it forward vehicles for veterans. So that's kind of what we're doing. We're got another vehicle that we're doing. It's a restoration for a veteran. He works at 9 Line. We're trying to get that car finished up for him. And then we did pick up another one for the first part of next year, Bobby Henline. We're going to be doing a K5 Blazer for him starting first quarter next year. So, we've had to go back, draw, snap a line in the sand and just kind of like regroup because, COVID was just really, just wasn't our best friend, So we have moved shops. A lot of people, they go by the old shop and we're not there. And there's a veterans group over there in the old shop called Medal of Honor. They're our for-profit veteran group, and they've got the shop. And our landlord, our lease went up. All those fine things that Richard did for our building, kind of increased the value of the building. So our landlord decided he was going to up the value of the rent. So it just got to a point where we just couldn't handle it. So with everything else that was going on, so we got all of our equipment out, got it all in another location, and we're going back to like I say, we're doing our pay it forward vehicles for veterans, and still anybody wants to learn how to weld. We got plenty of stuff going on at the shop. They can swing by and learn what to do. We're trying to work on marketing and whatnot to try to get things back together for 2023. So just bear with us. We're not closed down. We're not, not fulfilling our mission. We're still building pay it forward cars for veterans. We're just having to remarket and get ready for next year. So
that's resilience right there, in my opinion.
100%.
That's resilience, and the COVID word, but it seems like you found a way, Scott. And we were talking a little bit before, and this seems like you were talking about some of your family members potentially being involved in the future of this too. Can you talk?
Oh yeah, my son. Yeah, he just graduated West Georgia with a marketing media degree, and he graduated with no debt. So I'm hoping I can hit him up for a little bit of to help us out here at the shop. So
that's awesome. What could we do to help make sure that, communication, I get it, but is there anything that we can proactively be involved with to make sure that you're getting the exposures you need to kind of slingshot you forward?
So that was part of our marketing strategy. We're working on some stuff now for some like $19.95 a month, donations for people, kind of like what everybody else is doing for a, fuzzy t-shirt and a fuzzy bear and a, something you'll get if you decide to do a continuing $19.95 a month deal for us. So look for that coming in the future. We're going to be doing text to give for the different projects that we're working on. So like Bobby Henline's Jeep, we'll be doing a text to give as soon as we get that set up. So just go on, follow us, like us on Facebook, Instagram is the best thing to do for now because I've got some marketing guys helping us out, and we're going to be rolling some stuff out here in the next couple of months. And the main thing is just kind of go on and just like and follow our Facebook and Instagram, and then stay tuned for some of the stuff that's coming up. So we've got a couple of shows that we're going to be going to towards the end of the year, and then so to try to get some more exposure. But the main thing is just please bear with us. We're just, we're having to go through a reorg right now, and we lost one of our board of directors and this past year, and we're just just trying to mend things up and move forward. So
I love your heart, Scott. I don't think you need to apologize for a thing. You get your boots on the ground. You're making a difference. You're not a talker. You're a doer. I think the rest of us need to apologize for not being there to lift you up and get your thing going in the direction. And that's the piece that we constantly strive to get the information out to people. We have 10% roughly of our country that are boots on the ground, have served as a military person or as a first responder, and we need to do a lot better. And so I don't think you need to apologize for a thing, and we're going to back you, brother, and get you going in the right direction. And you're going in the right direction.
Right. Well, and then last week, I had a guy last week. I'm going to run a story by you right quick. Just bear with me because I'm going to have to read this. So I had a guy reach out to us last week. He's a chief in the Navy, retired after 21 years, 21 and a half years. He was a machinist mate, swapped over to diver. So I'm going to read just a little bit of his background and kind of give you guys an idea of what we were going to do for this gentleman. So he joined the Navy in 97 to be a submarine machinist mate, auxiliaryman. In 2006, he was recruited for Navy diving and began a very non-typical career path. 2008, he was privileged to be on a team that recovered and repatriated, excuse me if I get these wrong, but repatriated the remains of 11 World War II MIAs from a B-24 bomber in Plow. So can you imagine that, diver going down and grabbing these MIA bodies out of this B-24 bomber. So later that year, he would incur a back injury while doing a fast rope insertion outside of Haditha Dam, might have that right, in Iraq. This injury would complicate later on, and he was, that's the one that kind of got him right there as far as his injury goes. So I'll go ahead and get into the story. So he reached out to me, and we're going to put hand controls in his Jeep. He's got a Jeep Wrangler. We're reaching out to one of the local Jeep shops, JK Land, and to see if we can get some help with them as far as the installation of the hand controls. And then if anybody wants to, I've already reached out. We are authorized to put hand controls in. Our garage is. We're registered with the state. So I'm reaching out to the hand control manufacturers, trying to get them donated. But of course, they deal with this type of deal all the time. So we may or may not get them, donated in, but we'll be raising some money to try to get those paid for. And then the Jeep shop has graciously donated their time to install them. And then, so the only cost we have is to incur as the price of the controls. So if anybody wants to donate to that cause, please go to our website, just click on the donate button and it'll run you right on into the donation. So, but anyway, deserving gentleman. He also participates in the, let me look at here. He participates in the 2022 DoD Warrior Games. He's training for that. So his name, hold on, I've got his name in here somewhere. Julian. It's going to be on my email, but anyway, I'll have it on I'll see if I can't pull it up here in a minute.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if you folks haven't been to AmericanWarriorGarage.org and you are a classic car or restoration junkie like I am, I'm terrible at it, so thank goodness there's Scott Jones of the world. It's artwork. Go on the gallery page, read their mission statement, because what he just described for this hero is exactly what they do, and that's why they need your help. And it's a beautiful website, and you have to go to it and see what these folks do. It is stunning.
We've built some nice cars over the years.
You know, and they're a piece of history, and one of the things on your
classics.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things on your
Go ahead.
One of the things on your website, Scott, is you're involved in these veterans. You're doing this for veterans. You're retrofitting vehicles. I just hope people see what can be done when you put your heart and soul into something. And you said something really profound right away. And I'm the one that picks out what people say, and I hope people start thinking about this, because this is the exact words that my wife told me when we started our mission with the People's Patriot Project, and when we started building guitars, giving them away, and whatever we do. We're just a hybrid disorderly conduct organization that tries to do everything. And then the People's Patriot Project reins me in. But she said, well, why not? And I did not have an answer, sir. And why not? That's a great question. Somebody give me an answer.
Well, it's all about no limits. I mean, you know, what happened with the Chevelle, it's, you know, you got a gentleman, you know, 18, 19 years old, goes to Afghanistan to fight this war, and then comes home to a vehicle that he was driving it before he left, and then now he, you know, can't drive it when he gets back home. So it's like, you know, you just have to, you know, it's no limits. I mean, nobody should be limited to what their capabilities are by, you know, whatever happened to them, you know, so I don't know. I just was compelled to do this, and I'll continue to do it as long as I can do it, as long as I can financially do it. And, you know, it's, you know, my 401k's taking a beating, and it's all right. You know, put more in it, it doesn't matter, you know, and one day, you know, hopefully some rich millionaire will go, dang, you know, what they're trying to do over there, just give them a little bit of help and get us going. But, you know, and it just hadn't happened yet, but it's going. We ain't shut down yet. And I'll just keep going until we go. But his name was Julius McManus. So look him up. He's on the internet. You'll see him on the internet. He's, like I said, DOD, Wounded Warrior competitor. So, but we're going to hook him up with some hand controls in his Jeep so he can, you know, go to those events and represent.
So I know there's no way to answer this question, but we do have one of our viewers, Timothy Allen Franklin with FWM Designs. How much? First of all, one of my questions is there an average cost to a build? And then he's asking, you know, the really important question, you know, how much is this build you're working on going to cost?
It's right around $1,500, I think. So it's not an expensive deal. You know, it's just, you know, for this particular, you know, for the hand controls and stuff to get them, it's around $1,500. And for that particular one, but like the build that we did for, the thing is I've got videos of the Torino build. I just haven't posted them yet because I don't like to post things until we're actually in the home stretch and we're done. So I've got some really good videos that's going to come out on the Torino here real soon. Cause we are winding down with that build. We should have it done, you know, in the next few weeks. So, and then we'll be able to, you know, finish that. Once the car's finished, then I'll go ahead and start, you know, doing like a show series and stuff that talks about that car. I mean, we've had that car, and I'm ashamed to say it, but we've had that car for 4 years now. Good thing he was stationed in Hawaii, and it was, you know, a little bit of a chore to get back. And I talked to him periodically on the phone, and everything's cool. He's not upset or anything like that. He just, when he gets home, he's going to be at Fort Polk, I think, Louisiana. So as soon as he gets back home, there's I think there's a show in October if he makes it home in time that we're going to try to get it out and go with him on this show and get this car back to him. But those builds usually cost us somewhere, if we can't get the stuff donated in, around 20. I'm no Chip Foose, so I don't do, Chip Foose quality work, but if, I can bring a car in and slap some paint on it, wheels, tires, and dress the engine up, and then throw a little interior in it for 20-25 grand. But but those little, like the hand control deal, that's usually a one-off. Somebody will reach out to us and want something done, and we try to like to fit a few things like that in and take care of them and pay it forward. So
what's amazing about that, Scott, is here you have a hero that has fought for all of our freedom, and you're going to give him his freedom back.
That's right.
That's what it's all about right there.
Well, and it's another piece. It's lightening the load, and he doesn't have to worry about it, or she doesn't have to worry about a vehicle. So now they can concentrate and worry about something else. 100%. And again, the more we can be interactive with these veterans enlisted and first, the more we can interact with them and take those items, those proverbial items out of their proverbial rucksack, the less that you don't have to mix this whole thing together anymore. And you start unweaving those threads and allowing them to think about life, think about, the real breath that they need to be taking rather than the emergency breath that they're trying to get. And so
real helps with healing with everything.
100%. And
you cannot put a price on that. And I hope people realize, like, that's why I truly mean that. If you go to their if you go to the AmericanWarriorGarage.org website, you'll see what I'm talking about. It speaks for itself. It's such a worthwhile cause, and it's a firsthand, immediate impact.
Well, it's like the build that we're doing for Bobby. It's like we talked to Bobby. We just had a deal at Brimstone Tavern in Alpharetta for him, a month or so ago. And, both of us were there. They were highlighting Bobby. Bobby did his, stand-up comedian act. And then I was there talking a little bit about AWG. And then there towards the end of the deal, we picked up Brimstone paid for Tavern, paid for us, for me to find him the vehicle. So I picked it up. It's a 78 K5 four-wheel drive Blazer. And it's like, Bobby, and I'm going to screw this story up, but Bobby had a truck that he gave to his son, which is his Angel vehicle that he drove around and thought about his buddies. Bobby was in a Humvee accident that killed everybody but him, and he got burnt pretty bad. I think 80% of his body. And so his brothers that were with him at the time, he wants this Angel vehicle back that he can just get out, ride around, and reminisce about the good times that he had with his brothers. And so this pretty much Blazer is going to be built for that. I mean, we're going to build it. I've already had an engine donated in for it. And then, I'll have a list of stuff whenever we start that build. If anybody wants to donate, a certain, specific things, that I'll have a parts list. And of course, we take monetary, donate money. That's fine too. So, but I'll have a list of everything that this Blazer needs, and hopefully we can get that to them, next year, after we get going on it. So, but it's these builds that we try to do for these guys, and I've got emails full of them, and I'm probably going to get some hate mail next week for the ones that go, "Hey, mine's been in there for 4 years now." But we just, it's just, I like to be able to build them all, but it's just, in one day, hopefully I can. It's just, we're just going to do what we can do. And then, but anyway.
What are some of the other things you do, Scott? I mean, you provide training, and on your website, you're talking about a little bit about not only training folks, but you're taking not only care of these vehicles and these vets, and teaching vets scholarships, the availability for mental health counseling if needed. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we had a volunteer that's over in Carrollton, and anytime we have, it's a fine line. You don't want to turn somebody over to a counselor that's, because once they determine somebody's needs mental health, then all your rights get taken away. So we had a counselor over in Carrollton that she's, if anybody needs to talk to somebody, she's agreed to do it kind of off the records, so, we don't get, that's the last thing you want to do is send somebody to a professional. And then next thing you know, they deem them, whatever. And then, so we're not all about that, but we do have somebody that if somebody needs to chat with somebody, we can hook them up. Awesome. And then the other thing, as far as the schooling and stuff goes, ideally in our other shop, we had a little classroom stuff set up to where, we could do that. And we were working on getting ASE programs for guys that could come in and get ASE certified and or get working on that program. Because a lot of these guys coming out of the military have GI Bills and all that stuff. We're not an institution, but we're, want to get them on the right path. So ASC certification is all online. So at the time we had all the equipment that we could get those guys up to the initial part of where they start taking those tests, because we had all the equipment that they could get the experience with, so, that's basically what we were trying to do. So they could come in, get some hands-on training. They can still come in and get hands-on training now, but I'm going to have them cut some rust out of a car and weld it back in. So not everybody likes doing that.
You got to start.
That's right.
It's an amazing mission in the fact that it shares, creates, and builds people up. There are training opportunities. There are vocational opportunities. There are opportunities to raise those up that have less because of their service. And the conversation we've been having a lot lately is we need to be ready so we don't have to get ready. And I do think that there's some people online here that are interested in being part of that mission as well. We got, like you said, FWM Designs. I am pretty confident Tim is going to be reaching out to you. He's got this funding process that he's in the process of working on, and I know you use the word process too many times right there, but I think he's got a plan that is going to help build American Warrior Garage up, and I love that Timothy comes on weekly and is sharing. Eric Oligschlager is with the band right now. They're 12 hours in, 8 hours left to go. Bless you, brother.
You guys want to? I could start a fight in that RV right now by showing the shirt. Where did I get this shirt? Well, you know what?
Man,
Eric can
out of Shannon's bag.
Okay, I'll tell you another secret. Scotty's wearing the same shirt today, so no fighting there.
I don't want to fight Scotty. I'd lose that fight. He's a good man.
We got Brian Romans on the line. Good to see you here, brother. Beth is back. She must have did the little transition there. Call him Dougie.
Oh, don't call him Dougie. You guys know better.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, careful
you might
what
be
you read.
safe, Beth. I don't think he's on Facebook, so you might be okay.
So I put out a little blurb in we have another communication system. It's called texting with the people on the show here, and said, hey, what should we, if we were really good at what we're doing, or let's say if we had more people to help us do what we do, we would have the music lined up from what we heard this weekend, and we just were not ready. We've been busy, we've been working, we've been doing our thing, but everyone put their 2 cents worth in. I have a newfound favorite, and I'm sorry, it's my favorite, and because I get to control all the buttons, I get to play my favorite. But I'm going to play Andrea's choice, and I'm going to play Dan's choice as well.
Yeah.
And everyone gets a little say in this. And Scott, I don't know if you follow us enough to know our musicians. If you've got a favorite out there, let us know, and we'll get that up there too. But we're going to listen to our good friend CJ Garton and Ferris Wheel.
I walked the high line, I've juggled a few times, played sold out shows around. I keep entertaining and never complaining about the circus that is this town. I'm caught on a Ferris wheel, going round and round. Everything that I see just goes up and down. Bright lights are shining, these crowds gather round. Oh, am I the ringmaster or just another clown? I hear the laughter as I'm put on display. I'm another freak in the show. One day the marquee will read my name. Till then, it's a neon glow. I'm caught on the Ferris wheel, going round and round. Everything that I see just goes up and down. Bright lights shining, the crowd gather round. Oh, am I the ringmaster or just another clown? Just goes up and down. Bright lights are shining, the crowds gather round. Oh, am I the ringmaster or just another clown? Am I the ringmaster or just another clown?
Every time I hear that song, I get something new out of it, and it's my life song right now. I mean, there's a ton, and we get to hear a ton of great music, but that Ferris wheel just keeps coming down, up and around, and life's life, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of Scott's story here
100%.
with American Warrior Garage. You know, we've had our downs, and now let's get her back up and let's go run her through the wall, man. Let's get it done.
The beautiful thing about a Ferris wheel, it goes in a circle. It goes down, but it goes back up again. And I think we're all on the upswing again, y'all. And I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. CJ Garton, if you are a beginning songwriter or lyricist, listen to CJ Garton. This guy, I am astounded at the lyrics he writes. They're clear, they're concise. Everything makes sense in his songs. Every single song, every single one. It's such a joy to listen to.
He's got a good little wang to him too.
A little bit.
I'd like to hear.
Yeah,
I'd like to hear some CJ Garton and some of that American Muscle there, man. That would be like, yeah, bow,
absolutely,
bow, bow,
and a great guy too. And the great thing is, his music usually brings out the personality of the individual doing it. And if you ever have an opportunity to meet CJ Garton, he's a super guy. And what you see is what you get. His heart's on his sleeve with his music, and there's nothing more you can ask for that.
Help us out, Facebook user.
Yes. Okay, who had the awesome weekend? Should we guess? Is it gonna be Ryan? It's gonna be Ryan. It may be Ryan.
It could be Ryan.
Could be Ryan.
Can we count out off our hands? I mean, probably not. Each and one of the very amazing moments we had over this weekend. I mean, Eric Oligschlager is there representing his organization, the Chatto Foundation. Chatto's birthday, had some moments, raised the cup to the young man. If you haven't heard the Chatto story, we're not going to take time to share it tonight, and we'll get to it another time. But it's that VA cocktail, and I'm not pointing the finger at the VA, but we tend to like to medicate rather than have hands-on trying to get people taken care of, and the young man ends up losing his life because of the VA cocktail after enlistment. And actually, it's not even after enlistment. He was in the Marines at the time, and just a tragic story. And that's Eric's mission, is to stop that from happening. And let's get involved. Let's take care of our young man. Yeah, it is Ryan.
I win.
I'm a super Ryan fan. I'm going to say that. He was so uplifting, and it was awesome seeing time. And then there's that moment. Shannon Book's got an amazing song called Not Alone, and he brought all those who have lost a brother, sister, family member to suicide up on stage. Not a dry eye in the world at that moment, or at least in that zip code that was in that. And what an amazing, touching moment. And Tammy just brought it up. Her moment was singing Not Alone with Shannon Book. And so amazing. The donation of the guitar to every third Saturday. We get to thank Check Six for that. Now, Check Six is an organization that's ran by Mr. Dan Hudson, and he is going to very easily revert that over to the People's Patriot Project. But this stuff has been in play well before we had our relationship, and so I want to make sure we recognize that as well. And there was just all this amazing lifting up pieces. So, and there was a piece that I wanted to get on stage and talk about, because we spend a lot of time memorializing and remembering. And one of our mantras is to remember is not enough. Everyone has one of these. It's not a charger. This is my phone. Everyone's got one of these. I need you right now. And I was going to do this as a crowd exercise. I need you right now to get on that phone and reach out. I'm going to say minimum of one, but we do this by the 6-pack. Reach out to 6 friends, family. I don't care. They don't have to be a veteran. Hey, thinking about you, with you. We're here. Take the time. Sometimes it's just that little seed that festers. Okay. Sometimes you're reaching someone that needs that right at the time and right at the moment that they need to know that I Foxtrot matter. Take the time. And I did probably about 3 dozen during the show yesterday. It's not about me. It's not about the do. It just I was touched that much during the show, during everything that was going on, that other people needed to know, and I wanted them to know that they're in my thoughts. So this is how we save lives. It's boots on the ground. It's action. It's not talking about it. It's being about it. And that's what we need. That's how we're going to save our brothers and sisters. That's the only way it's going to do. So
that ceremony yesterday was, I've not seen one like that before. And that was amazing.
The bell ringing?
Yeah, Rachel and crew.
You can see the comment, Andrea. It says we need to say their names to keep them alive.
Yep.
And that's exactly what they did. That's such a good point.
The honor and the respect that was given individually for all of them. That was so cool.
And those boots and those flowers stayed up there all night. And that's really what needs to happen. And we had there were so many touching moments. There were some pretty hysterical moments that I may or may not have photographs of as well. Proof and evidence. But
that's what happens at family reunions. You get together, and you got the family that you really don't want to be around, but you let them. At these events, there's none of those there, to be honest with you.
It was chilling. It gives you chills to see how even strangers from 300, 400, 500. The one gentleman, people always like to help what we do, and we appreciate it. And some people like to help because they just want to be part of something. But there were genuine people there. At the end of the day, Mark, Angie, you were still there. It was a long day. Obviously, it's 2:00 in the morning. We have people rolling up extension cords for us. It's like, wow.
Let's do a shout out to Greg Hanks, who shows up. He's from the northern part of Minnesota, rode down to be at the event, and he jumped right in at the end doing one of the most excruciating. I know I didn't say that word right, but we'll chalk that up to sleep deprivation. Excruciating. Rolling cable at a concert it's a mind
and there's miles of cable. There was probably 150 extension cords, the big thick ones, stage snakes. Unbelievable.
Yeah. So Scott, what's next for American Warrior Garage?
Well, like I said, we're just working on some marketing stuff, strategies. We, kind of taking a step back and try to get these pay it forward cars done and get them out, and then where we can move forward with a clean slate and just I think once we start, like I touched with you a little bit earlier, it's like I have a hard time or I don't, I just don't toot my own horn about the stuff that we have done. And so hopefully with some media help that we'll start getting some of these stories out of some work that we have done to help us roll into, being able to do some more work, for some other vets. So it's like, when the show airs, Garage Rehab, if you really want to know how, just watch, go to Discovery, get the back string. We had 2 episodes on Garage Rehab. That's pretty accurate on how we got started. So, but moving forward, we just want to do the pay it forward cars for veterans and because there's so many deserving guys. I mean, whenever they show a rerun or something, we get an influx of emails of, hey man, my father was or grandfather left me this car and whatnot, and they want it restored, and can you fit it in, or we just got tons of good stories. But one I want to touch on right quick is we had a T-Bird, I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago, we were giving away the 62 Thunderbird, and so we finally picked a winner, and Steven, he's up in Massachusetts, and we were getting ready to haul that thing to Massachusetts, right? Well, we get it on our truck and trailer. We're getting ready to haul it up there. The gentleman that was going with me got sick. So I ended up calling a transport company. Transport company come and picked it up. they had it for 2 hours, called me back and said they wrecked it. So, oh, terrible, terrible. So we're just now finishing that T-Bird up. So it took me almost 6 months just to get bumpers for it. It's just been a big mess. But stay tuned on Facebook and Instagram. We're going to retell that story of where it came from. It was a World War II veteran that bought it brand new in '63. He had it all his life. His son, when he passed away, he left it to his son. His son saw our show, donated it to the garage, and it is a pristine '62 Thunderbird. I wish I'd have sent you all the stuff on Thursday. I would have and knew I was going to talk about it, but beautiful car. So just stay tuned. Facebook, Instagram. We're going to, like I said, retell that story. We're going to deliver that car to Stephen probably within the next month or so, and then get that car out. But it was just one of the nice cars that got donated in our garage. And, it was funny. Our guys went over there to pick it up, and it had 4 flat tires. They get over there, they get it on the trailer, get it back over to the shop, and then we threw some gas in it, put a battery in it, hit the key, that joker's fired right up.
Oh
and
my God.
we didn't have to do anything to it. We just cleaned it up and started running tickets on it. So, awesome. Anyway, that's another way how we raise our money. Donated cars that get donated to us, we'll raffle them off, or we'll, do what we need to do with them.
We had prepped Scott at the beginning of the show that, we did have a major event this weekend. And there, by no means do we want to upstage him with the event. And this is what we love. We get to have conversations. I'm only saying that because
I like hearing about it, man. That was an event. I wish I'd have made it to it. I mean,
I think
that would have been extraordinary.
I think having Scott and his team's even one vehicle there to show what
I've been at events,
demonstrate what can happen.
I've been at events where Scott has had vehicles there, and it is an enhancer to everything.
1,000%.
What I was trying to get through a minute ago was the message that is up there right now. Eric, we love you.
We do. We love you, Eric, and you deserve your own platform talking about that. That's why, to get into it, I don't even know. I don't know if there's enough time in the world to get into it.
Yeah, and we said we're not going to do that one tonight. So we love you, Eric. It was more of a blessing. You're giving us the accolade there, but it was more of a blessing having you up here with us this weekend. It made the event for me. And there was a lot of amazing things that happened during that event. So, woo! I love it. Well, with that, and again, we're at the 7:00 mark, but I'm not ready to shut her down. Are you guys ready to shut her down? No. Let's keep her rolling for a little bit. And I think this is a good point or a good time because let's get one of the gut wrenchers out there. And I hope we had it up here. Did you see it in the catalog, Dan?
I do not.
It's there. It's got to be there.
It's got to be there.
We played it once, so I know that it's here someplace. And we're going from the hip here a little bit, and it's all good. Well, I have Sal's. Let's go with Sal's song, Heroes. This is Sal Gonzalez, Heroes.
They threw him a party the day that he got home. Oh, and they called him a hero, but he felt all alone. Surrounded by his family and all his friends but one. Oh, he lost him in that country to a buried roadside bomb. when his dad stood up and said, our hero has returned. He looked down at his scars and his purple heart and said, Dad, you know that hurts. 'Cause that told me to not sound grateful, 'cause the good Lord knows I am, for sparing me my life on the day he took my friend. But I still wish that I had gone with him, or maybe even took his place. Oh, but destiny didn't lead me that way. So I'm not trying to say you're wrong, but heroes ain't the ones who make it home. He said Danny had a daughter that he'll never get to see. And I know that he was proud, but he was only 23. They gave me this medal, pinned it on my uniform. But this piece of tin don't mean a thing, no, if it can't bring them home. So I told me to not sound grateful, 'cause the good Lord knows I am, for sparing me my life on the day he took my friend. But I still wish that I had gone with him, maybe even took his place. Oh, but destiny didn't lead me that way. I'm not trying to say you're wrong, but heroes ain't the ones who make it home. Don't need to not sound grateful, 'cause the good Lord knows I am, for sparing me my life on the day he took my friends. But I still wish that I'd gone with them. Every day I'd take their place. Oh, my destiny didn't lead me that way. I'm not trying to say you're wrong. Yes, I am. 'Cause heroes ain't the ones who make it home. No, heroes ain't the ones who make it home.
I think that really says it all. You know, you asked the toughest question, Mark. You asked us to pick songs, and how do you pick songs? I mean, how do you pick these guys' songs, and men and women both? How do you do it? I mean,
we're gluttons for punishment a little bit here because
obviously, I tell you, the talent level of our service members, whether it be working with Scott and doing what they do, whether it be in the music, these men and women. It's amazing, and how it's helping them as well. And they'll say that, and I'm not speaking for them, but I have a little personal experience in that, and how a craft like that not only helps them, it helps their brothers and sisters. It helps the first responder brothers and sisters. Some of our first responders are veterans too, and there's so many parallels. And I know I'm preaching to the choir when I say that, but there are. And that song that Sal does, man, I tell you what, I gotta get up a little bit every time that comes on, because it's just so true.
Well, it's a good, working with cars. It's like, everybody gets their therapy from something, whether it be cars, horses, music or whatever. It's like, when we were up and moving, and after the show had aired, it's like we'd have guys come over to the shop, and it's like you just joke around and work on the cars and talk about whatever it is that you wanted to talk about, or whatever what was bothering you. And it's like we never, we just, it was just one of those things. It's like even today we had had the garage, 3 or 4 veterans come over. We're working on a truck downstairs, and it's just it's just a release, a form of release that you get by working on cars. It's like some people pet horses. I like working on a car. So
Absolutely.
But Scott, you had the foresight and courage to create a path, and that takes courage in itself, because of the external factors, the fundraising, right now the social media is a full-time job, as you've kind of described, and I mean it takes that heart, and thank you so much for having that heart and providing yet another path.
Well, it's a struggle because I'm only one person, and I wear a lot of hats right now, and it's hard to delegate stuff out because it's just not my nature to ask for help, and I don't know, it's just not me. But to get anywhere, I'm going to have to. So I don't have much choice. It's just I'm glad that Mark's allow me to come on and do these shows and tell our story, and hopefully we'll be doing more of that, and hopefully it'll make me get my crap together to where I can get people in places. It's like a friend of mine that they say aces in places, that she's told me that builds a company, and I just got to get my aces in places, and get the people in there helping me do grab that flag and move forward. So, and I know we're going to make it. Heck, there's been so many times that we should have shut our doors down, but, God just opened up another door for us. And it's like, and we're just going to keep running with it until we can't run no more. And it's just, I don't know. It's embedded in my life now. So whether I do it by myself or I do it with a whole bunch of people, I'd rather do it with a bunch of people because, but I'll just keep doing it till I can't do it no more.
I have another message it's actually through my Facebook page, and I won't call the person out, but thanks for coming to Granite Falls. You're awesome. Made the 5-year anniversary of my son's suicide, 8/14/2017, a little less lovely. Thanks. We are with you. Thanks for being there. Thanks for being part of this. It's bigger than all of us. Scott, you always have a place here, brother. And whatever we can do to help promote this mission and make life better for others, we are 100%. It's kind of, and I'm just going to call everyone out because it is what it is. I'll call myself out more than that because I am not. Andrea's telling me it's because I'm tired in the thread, but I'm not a crier generally, but during Sal's song, I'm just ugly crying. There's ugly crying this weekend. And it's not the loss of the emotion. It is the, damn, we're blowing this stuff up. I was trying not to swear, and I didn't swear. I don't do a good job at that sometimes. Andrea will probably attest to that. But I've only got 4 screens. I only got 2 screens, not 4 screens. So I can't push my little beeper button for my screen. It just occurred to me while we were listening to Sal's song that our network brought all of us together at one point with Sal involved, because we were with Scott Jones down in Georgia for one of the Feed the Heroes Foundation events with Sal Gonzalez was there, Tony Turner was there, Adam Jones with Feed the Heroes, and Brian Gibson with Project Die Hard, and
Bobby Henline.
Bobby Henline was there as well. Absolutely.
Why do you think I thought about Sal? That's exactly what.
That was the connection there. Yeah. No, what an amazing, that again, another amazing event. If you get the chance to get together in our network, you get the chance to hug a lot of people and do some pretty damn amazing things. And I want to thank Andrea and Dan. Andrea is our glue that holds absolutely everything together. Thank you for everything that we got to get done this weekend. Dan has come on like a raging bull and has just not stopped since he's come on. I thank you for everything you've done. And Dave, I'm going to call him Diamond Dave from here on out because he's a treasure, man. The guy came. I'm pretty sure he had some pretty frustrating moments, mainly because of other people in the world, and that's what gets people going. And he held his stuff together and got the job done. And I just appreciate that man immensely. I hope he's listening, and if he's not, make sure you pass that on for us, Dan. All those organizers for Ride to Remember, thank you for allowing us to be part of it. It was amazing, and I hope that we get to work on other ventures like this in the future. So,
Scott, can I ask? Oh, sorry. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I got to ask Scott a question when you're done.
Ask him.
Is your merchandise available on the website that we put up?
Yes, there are some. We're out of stock on some stuff. We're in the process of reordering shirts right now. And then we've got some designs that aren't on there yet, that we've not put up on Shopify, but we do have some of the stuff that's on the website.
Very cool. I know I couldn't quite get the one I wanted, but I love the one I got. So
I'm mad because I got a fistful of them upstairs and I didn't throw one on for tonight, and I apologize.
We do. Now going back to Nine Line's been very instrumental with us too over the last couple of years, and it's like I met with them a couple of years ago, and I'm sitting there in Tyler's boardroom and I'm thinking, man, how'd I earn the right to sit in here, and so those guys are doing the same thing, and it's like, man, it's got a guy from American Warrior Garage that's been on TV and so but anyway, one of the things that they asked me, it's like, what do you want to do? I said, well, I'll tell you what I don't want to do. I said, I don't want to, this, and I won't say what I don't want to do, but I said, but what I do want to do is I want to build cars for veterans. I want to do pay it forward cards for veterans. And they said, well, how can we help? And it's like, so they'll design a shirt or I'll shoot them a thing, and then they do shirts for us periodically. So look for them on the website. They support us and real well. We do co-branded shirts with them, and then I've brought some designs to them that they've printed for us. So and they'll run some shirt promotions, and then 2 or 3 weeks later they'll shoot me a check, and then so it is and it has been very instrumental and for us too. It's like they're passionate about the t-shirt industry and the t-shirt stuff that they do, and then I've been fortunate to be able to team up with them and them do shirts for us. So anytime you can support them, I appreciate it. And then
no, absolutely,
of course, I like it when you buy the shirt that has our logo on the side of it, because then you're supporting us too. So
absolutely,
be on the lookout for some new shirts.
Awesome.
I get to thank people too, right?
Yeah.
I want to thank all the Ride to Remember folks for trusting us, because for us doing these sound and lights things for such an important event, that was the most pressure because we want it to be perfect. I want to thank both you, Mark and Andrea, for bringing me on and being a part of it, because I never would have done that. It's a little out of our comfort zone. Not anymore. And I want to thank you, Scott, specifically. And I get to humble you a little bit. I love this part. But I always pick something out almost out of every episode. And this has inspired me to do many things. And I hope it inspires other things, because we had Mr. Sammy Davis, a Medal of Honor recipient, on here, and he inspired me with one word, and that word was love. And I keep talking about it, and I'll never get sick of talking about it. But you inspired me with 2 words. Why not? And I think if people ask themselves that question, if they want to get involved, help their brothers and sisters, and they're questioning it, why not? And if you can't answer that, then the answer is, why haven't you yet? And it's so prolific and wise and profound to think about that and it's I learned something new every week, and this is what you taught me, sir, and I appreciate that wholeheartedly, because that really is important. Why not? Give me a reason why not. And I don't know if you could find a reason why not. I'm too tired. Well, you know what? We're all tired. We all work, and what you're describing to me is there's challenges, but that's just a hurdle. And like Mark said, it's a Ferris wheel. You just go round and round. There's good days and bad days. Sometimes it spins faster, sometimes it spins slower. And I think that Ferris wheel is coming around. Also,
are you the ringmaster or just another clown?
I don't know what I am. I'm the
I
ringmaster.
see a lot of ringmasters. I see a lot of ringmasters here, man. That's what I see.
I got 3 more folks I need to really thank too, and I want to thank Shannon and Deliberately Broken. Those are my homies now. I'm wearing your shirt, bro. I know you can hear me you're passed out in that RV because you're tired. And JT and the Gunslingers and Scotty Hastings, because trusting us with your craft and the important songs that you do means more to me than y'all will ever know. And I know Dave feels the same. We talked about it for 3.5 hours all the way home today. So thank you, Scott, for teaching me a really, really good life lesson today. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
I got to thank a couple more people. We have an amazing support staff with WeP3, with those that come in and pick up the loose ends, the stuff. We need this now, duct tape. And they get there and they get the duct tape. We need this now, honey. And then there's 2 bottles of honey sitting there because 2 people went and got honey, but that's okay. My wife and my sister who were there this weekend, thank you for all that you did and running and having food prepared for the artist. Again, we don't get this done without the tribe, the people that actually invest and put things into it. Thank you, and thank you more.
Probably I should throw in
Oh,
your wife and my husband were lifesavers in transporting our musicians to and from the airport, because the times were not favorable for any of us to jump in and try to accomplish that. So thanks, you guys, for being our drivers and
these
supporting
events
us that way.
have so many curveballs that you don't necessarily, and we thought we had things planned out, and it is what it is. I mean, Dave Eichmann, thank you. He drove 7 hours.
6.
Well, from Hastings to the airport,
I suppose.
all the way.
I suppose almost 7. Yeah, 6.5, 7. Yeah.
Yeah, 7 hours to pick up 2 of the artists to get out to Granite Falls and then back. Thank you, sir. That's and then Corey, who got up at 2:00 in the morning to get Tim to the airport as well. Someday we'll have helicopters and private jets that we don't have to worry about doing all that stuff.
My wife would also like to thank everyone for taking me off her hands for the weekend. She's like, thank you all for. Are you sure you don't want to keep him? Because she had a great week. No, I'm kidding.
Angie was the real winner on that one.
I have the best of the best, I do. I have the best of the best. I'm very, very fortunate.
And I'm sure we're leaving somebody out. I'm sure we're leaving someone out, and that makes me feel bad.
Doug the driver.
Good job.
Doug, the rock star driver. My
marathon driver.
He has a new name from Mike Felsky, who is one of the What Ride to Remember coordinators, owners, board members. Mike sent out a message a little bit ago asking how's Doug the pilot doing, and he said, I got a new road handle. We're going to call him Doug Autopilot, because Doug is one heck of a driver, and
he's a road warrior.
Yeah, he's a great guy. So thank you, Doug.
That catch, thank God. And it's not that by no means we want to forget anybody. It's just there's a lot of people in this.
So many moving parts. There were so many moving parts and so many people willing to stand up and help. And I have to apologize because people were so kind. I had about 12 drinks that people had bought me lined up, and I didn't have a second to have any of them because I was I don't think I sat down.
Feet
I
hurt.
think
like
I drank some of them actually as I
That's
was
fine, Mark. You know, it's a family. We share.
stuck in my live stream throwing over there. And you've got to figure out a little bit of some of the technology workouts because I had zero signal and we had to run off I'm having a brain moment.
A hotspot.
Yeah, hotspot. It's
Which
really hard when sometimes you're the person who has to answer the questions and there's no way, meaning me. I'm.
You just have to go with Diamond Dave there. I'll hook you up. He'll do some magic. He just fixes stuff.
Well, we'll troubleshoot that piece.
That's where Tammy came in. She kept running over. I need you to talk to someone on the phone. It was good. It was fun.
Love it. We did it. Check out Scott Jones on American Warrior Garage. Get out there and buy the 9 line of apparel. Again, it helps support him if it's got his brand on it, but also 9 line is an amazing veteran and first responder owned business that does amazing things for organizations as well. We didn't do any of our sponsors. Should we rattle some of those off real quick?
I can. Why don't I do that? I'll do that quick. So today, sponsoring our show, I know these. So anytime you want to jump in, Dan, feel free.
Sure.
Today, brought to you by TJM Trucking LLC, ASR Outdoors. Those are up in Dan's neck of the woods, and they are helping us out with another event as well. I need to throw in Weissman Trucking from down in the Marshall area. Ryan from Weissman Trucking, thank you very much. They sponsored this past weekend. I sent out a very late, hey, this is what's going on, this is what we're doing, and we're looking for a few sponsors in the area. So that was awesome. Thank you, Ryan at Weissman Trucking. And then we have Gary Smith at First Class RV. Thank you, Gary. They're not back yet. We're going to thank you, and then we'll thank you again once they get home safe and they get that RV returned. And thanks so much for jumping in and helping us with that. It's a lot like some moving parts. We're going to say that 100 million times. A lot of moving parts, pieces, and those are some people that really came through for us. And hey, I've got one piece of news today. Ready for it?
Yeah.
Tuesday. Today's the 14th. So on Tuesday, you guys, it is National Airborne Day. This honors the military's airborne divisions of the armed forces. August 16th, 1940 was the date of the first official Army parachute jump at Fort Benning, Georgia. The successful jump validated the innovative concept of inserting U.S. ground combat forces behind a battle line by parachute. These Sky Soldiers represent some of the most prestigious and expertly trained forces in the United States Army. President George W. Bush proclaimed National Airborne Day on August 14th, 2002, and on August 3rd, 2009. So a few years later, the U.S. Senate of the 111th Congress recognized National Airborne Day with a Senate resolution number 235. So it's official and it's a day. I was reading, I always look at what are some ideas for ways to help celebrate or recognize the people we're looking at. Just thank a paratrooper. And on that, I want to say my dad's cousin, Ray. Thank you, Ray. I'm going to say it early because I don't know where I'll be in 2 days. But start out that way. Run through your list of peeps. See if you know a paratrooper. That's it for the news coming. Remember, it is National Anti-Terrorism Month. Just be aware.
How do you be the first person to jump out of an airplane to parachute when you're a GI and they're like, "Oh, trust us, it'll be fine." That's got to be the bravest person ever, right? "Oh, it'll be fine. This is what we're gonna do now, and you're number one." So, kudos to that person because there had to be somebody first, right? The first person. First, like I don't know, that takes a lot of courage.
There are some things in life where who was the first that thought this was a good idea?
100%.
It's like some of some of those gases in boot camp, it's like, it smells like almonds. Oh yeah, who was that guy that said, "Oh yeah, this cyanide smells like almonds"?
They have your mask on.
He didn't get to talk about it for too long, did he?
So no, I have to tell you, Scott, I was in the Air Force, and I always tell the airborne friends I have, like, the plane lands. You don't have to jump out of it. We will safely land back on the ground, and I know everybody's got a mission. And I take a little heat sometimes from my Marine and Army folks, but it's a family, so it's all love. It's all love.
They get the job done.
That's why I was in the Navy. It's like, they will never ask me to sleep in a tent and eat out of a can. So it's like,
or do a rock. Don't have to do a rock either, right?
Right.
Yep.
Unbelievable. We are here for all of you. Everyone that's on this screen, anyone that's in the network of 160 plus organizations, we're here for you. I'm pretty sure if you reached out to Scott Jones and said, "Hey, I'm struggling," if he doesn't have a direct contact person, he can contact us as well. That's not his forte necessarily. He likes his cars, but we will get you taken care of. We will lighten that load, and we will take care of you the best we can with the tools that we have. And if we don't have the right tools, we'll get the right tools by reaching out into the network and making sure that we can get those things. We don't believe our veterans and first responders are broken. Stuff happens, and we just want to make sure that we have the tools to assist in all of those that need it. And sometimes it's just a process of lighting the load. I promise you, our pillars are being boots on the ground, building relationships, having events that bring in those that need to hear the message, and building around. Timothy Allen Franklin has been on here with FWM Designs. He's building a network that is going to help fund all these organizations and those that are involved. Check him out when you have a chance. We are the beacon of opportunity. We give those people a chance, and we ask, give us that one chance. If you're at that space and time, give us one chance. You do Foxtrot matter. We are also the opportunity to serve. Those who have served and need a place to continue to serve, we have a place for you. Time, talent, treasure. If you never had the chance to serve and wanted to serve, we have a place for you. And we are here to make a difference in the lives of those who've already served. Anything else, Dan?
Why not? Why not? That's all I have to say. Why not?
Beautiful.
And hopefully, if you have what I want queued up at the end here, Eric, I know you're listening. Crank it up in that RV, brother, heading south.
Andrea, I think Dan has created our theme for this show.
I didn't. Scott did. Scott
did.
Scott created it.
But we powered it home, so that helps the algorithms in this world, and we'll just light it up with that. Scott, anything that you want to close with?
No, I think we're good. Just, if you want to help support AWG, just, go to our website, donate, look forward to the videos that we'll have coming up on some of the project cars. And, I appreciate the people that do support us already, and, their continued support. And, I can't do what I do without the help and support of the people. So, and then I've been truly blessed. My day job, I get paid decent in my day job. So, I don't, but, when anybody knows when you try to run a nonprofit, it's like, okay, here we go. It's just asking for money is always the hardest part. So it's like, when you're kind of humble like I am, I don't like asking. So, and then a lot of times I'll just take care of it and roll on. But some of these projects that we have coming up, it's going to require some funding, and, so just look forward to videos, progression videos, and coming up, and thank you for everything that you do, and thanks for having me on tonight. So I really
always have a place here, brother. You always have a place here. Don't go anywhere when the credits run, because we do a little post show when everything's done. So just want to remind you that. Miss Eichmann.
Say what? I missed your question.
It wasn't a question. Do you have anything you want to close
Oh,
with?
you're moving to me. Got you. I was no, I said no, thank you. Thank you, Scott, for being here.
Yes, ma'am.
Long time no see. Yeah, that's what I got. Sleep
Awesome.
well, everybody.
And we're going to close with one of our musicians from this weekend and another tear-jerking message. It's truth. This was a message that this was Shannon Book's letter he wrote to his mother in case he never came home. So we got Shannon Book, Dear Mom.
Dear Mom, I had a few minutes to write down what's itching inside my mind. It's been too long since we have talked about nothing at all. Wish I could call. I know you're lost. Please don't you worry. There's no need to hurry. Just stay strong. It won't be long before we're together, right here in heaven. I miss you, Mom. Dear Mom, please believe I've done everything I needed to. Dear Mom, I'll be there when you breathing while you're sleeping. Dear Mom, I know you are hurting, feeling the burden of me not there. You're way too strong to give up on living instead of still giving the love in your heart. I know it's hard, but never forget the things that I did and the reasons why you are my mom. So please keep on living, caring and giving. I love you, Mom. Dear Mom, please believe I've done everything I needed to. Dear Mom, I'll be there when you breathe while
Truck it on.